This is a KSU Center video, number 1 for me. This is the Pilates 100. I am Carol Dutton. Hello and welcome. Today we're going to talk about the Pilates 100. Pilates 100 is one of the main or signature exercises that is part of the Joseph Pilates method. I love this very effective exercise, and there's many reasons. First of all, pardon me, all the Pilates principles are considered. They are present, easy to tap into when you are doing the 100. There's concentration, control, centering, really kind of, getting to the, hitting that core, the core muscles, really getting to the center of the body, concentrating. The precision, breathing is a big part of it. The flow of the exercise, of course, body alignment, and the integration of all the different muscle groups and all the other principles all together. The focus of the Pilates 100 is that it's an abdominal exercise. So this exercise really helps you strengthen that set of muscles. It helps you increase your body temperature. This is another reason why I think it's why I love this exercise. You could use it not just in a Pilates class, but if just as a warm up before you lift, a warm up before you go for a walk, or first thing in the morning. It increases the body temperature. In our Pilates class, we usually incorporate that as a warm up, and this would be right after our awareness exercises. And then we go right into the Pilates 100. Not that you couldn't use it at the end of your workout, you certainly can, but it's a great way to warm the body up. I think it helps you with your mind-body connection, so if you are into yoga, Pilates, Tai Chi, you may already have tapped into that mind-body connection, but I think this exercise really helps you tap into that. It's slow, or can be slow. It gives you plenty of time to connect, concentrate on different parts of the body. So again, that mind-body connection really, you have it's an efficient use of that mind-body connection. It allows you to access your strength and gives you the time to know how the exercise is making you feel. You might think, gosh, I'm feeling a little sluggish today. You're doing the Pilates 100. That might tap into, oh gosh, maybe it's because I lifted the day before. Maybe it's because I just, did a 5K. So, or maybe you're coming down with a cold or something like that. So it really helps you tap into that. I also love the exercise because there's many variations and progressions of it. This is definitely a multi-level exercise, meaning everyone could do it, a beginner, an intermediate Pilates practitioner, an advanced practitioner. But there's many variations. So you could do your 100, and we'll show you this in a moment, and you can slow the count down, and that makes it a lot harder. And if you've been in my classes before, you know what I mean. If you haven't been in my classes, and you'll see what I mean. If you start with your feet down on the floor, because you're in a supine position for this, laying on your back, excuse me. But the further away you move your feet from the center of your body, whether that means up in a tabletop instead of on the floor, up in tabletop, or extended over your head, or out on an angle, or doing some scissors, or however, the further away the feet and the legs are from the middle of the body, the harder it can be. Also, you can change your breathing pattern. This is another variation. So for my advanced Pilates practitioners, they know that if they do a staccato breath, which is like like that, if you change it and you do your exhale when you usually do your inhale, or you do a long inhalation and a long exhalation, instead of the staccato breath, that changes the exercise completely. So you may have done it 1,000 times, here the next time and you change your breathing pattern, it's almost like a brand new exercise. Excuse me. It helps you grow in your practice and gives you time to connect with your powerhouse. Powerhouse is that mystical energy force. It's called different things. It's called the chi in different practices. This is the mystical inner strength. I look at it as fortitude. I've learned a lot from yoga practitioners and how they have tapped into this powerhouse, this energy source. I've learned a lot from them. I believe that it's something that you don't get maybe right away, something that you grow into. At least that's how it happened for me. I can't tap into it every time. Maybe 60% of the time I can tap into it. So don't get frustrated, especially as you do variations. Just know that it takes practice. Okay, I have some notes, and I call them Carol notes. When you're doing your exercise, and again, you're going to be lying down on your mat, or in this case, my carpet, and you're going to fold in half. So the head, neck, and shoulders come off the ground. And if you have pressure in your head, neck, and shoulders as you're doing this exercise, because you're going to hold yourself up there for a long time, go ahead and lie yourself back down if you're feeling that tension, because the tension is not supposed to be there. You really are folding in half. So even pretend I'm lying on the floor, and actually this is a great example of standing. I'm just doing this forward flexion. Now gravity's hitting me in a different place as I'm standing, or if I'm lying on the floor. But if you fold in half, this is where the pressure should be. It shouldn't be here. Okay, so you really have to concentrate on relaxing this. It's not that easy, but it takes practice. Relaxing all of this up here and having all the pressure, all the tension in the middle of the body. Okay. But if you do have pressure, lie yourself back down. And just think about folding yourself in half the next time you come up. All right. As you develop and evolve in your practice, you should be able to make this exercise harder, meaning you'll be able to contract those abdominal muscles even harder. You're going to be able to use your arms and legs as resistance to make this harder. There's a lot to this. It's not something you could take to. When we're in a class format, group exercise class, we've got 8, 10, 15 people in class, everyone's at a different level. You shouldn't look around. We don't have that issue doing this virtually, but and you don't compete with anybody except yourself. This is all about you and what's best for you. You want to continue to challenge yourself, but you also want to be safe. Okay, beginners. You should always start Pilates 100 in an imprinted pelvis. So imprinted pelvis, when you're lying down on the floor, and I'll go over this again when we're actually doing the exercise, when you're an imprinted pelvis, that's when you flatten out this lumbar section of your back. And you're pushing that into the floor. So there's virtually no curve there at all. So you're flattening that into the floor, and you're raising your pubic bone in that pelvic tilt. Keeping that contraction in the abs. It's important for beginners to do that. Concentrate on that form, concentrate on that tension. The one thing also that intermediate and advanced students can always come back to this, if you're not feeling strong today. So you kind of have to do a body assessment, body inventory, and see how you feel as you're doing it. Of course you want to be challenged, but you also want to make sure you're doing it safe. You got to figure out, gosh, I'm not really feeling that strong today in my back. I better put my feet back down instead of up in the air or something like that. Okay. So neutral pelvis. So as I said, that we're going to flatten our back, and we call that, because the pelvis tilts, we call that an imprinted pelvis. A neutral pelvis would make any variation of 100 harder because it's harder to maintain that neutral pelvis. So as soon as you want to try a new progression, go back into imprinted. Try it a bunch of times that way, bunch of sessions that way, and then go ahead and go back, go into that neutral pelvis which is just where there would be a curve, that's going to make it harder. But don't do that until you have the strength in those abdominal muscles to do that. So intermediate students, when you're doing this, when you're doing 100, now is the time for you to kick it up a level if you're moving from beginner to intermediate. And I want you to concentrate on inducting those inner thighs. So if your legs are still on the ground, feet are still on the ground, your knees bent, squeezing, I want you to concentrate on squeezing those inner thighs. When you get to the inner thighs, then go ahead and engage the pelvic floor. The other thing I want you to do, intermediates, is to concentrate on the pulsing of the arms going up and down 6 to 10 inches. 6 to 10 inches. Okay. There are lots of advantages for doing, for squeezing the inner thighs. If you don't understand all that, that's a whole other video. Stay with your beginner one until we're back together. Okay, advanced students, when you're lying on the floor and you flex your spine off the floor, come up as high as you can. Now, when you get to about number 50 of this 100, okay, as you're pulsing your arms and all that stuff, I really want you to check that height and be sure you're still flexing and you haven't worked yourself back down. So I want your concentration to come up as high as you can. The other thing is we have a tendency to shrug our shoulders like this. Don't do that. Push your shoulders, keep your shoulders down. Shoulders down away from the ears, okay? Away from the ears. You want a lot of distance here, okay? Also, one thing, and I notice I'm thinking of a few of you in my head, let's be sure that we're not protracting our shoulders and that we are open. So don't bring your shoulders forward when you're doing it. So you're keeping your shoulders down, but you're also keeping them back. And then having that strength in the shoulder girdle. All right. Also, interesting thing for you to try, advanced, not that only advanced can do this, but again, I was talking about the breathing pattern. So something you could try, we always do staccato breath, where we go, then, all right, so 5 inhales, 5 exhales, and we do that 10 times. Okay, so advanced, you know who you are and I know who you are. Try to do this time. Practice this. Do 1 long inhalation for that 5 count, and then for a 5 count, and then do a long exhalation for that for your exhaling. So instead of the staccato, you're going to go instead. So try a different breathing pattern. That will keep the exercise fresh. Keep you challenged. Okay. I think I'm almost done with my notes. A few of the things that I always like to point out, that anyone can do Pilates 100. Definitely use it as a warm-up for any other activity you have to do. I believe it should be done, and there should be a law that it's done in every Pilates class. It should never get easier. Those of you who have been in my class before know I've always said that. I always say that. And it takes a while to get it correct. Don't get frustrated. Just keep practicing. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get on the floor and do the exercise. Okay, so I'm going to have some props here just in case. So we're going to start with a beginner version. So we're lying down on the floor. So it's very important to bring the chin towards the chest. The arms stay outside your hips. All right, you're going to take a deep breath. Inhale to prepare. And you're going to bring your chin towards your chest. And then you're going to exhale, squeeze and lift. Head, neck, and shoulders come off the ground. So come up as high as you can. If you already have pressure here in the shoulders and in the neck, bring yourself down about halfway. Otherwise, come on up. You're going to go ahead and contract those abdominal muscles. So inhale and exhale. You're going to go inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 10. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 20. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 30, inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale 2, 3, 4, 40, inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale 2, 3, 4, 50, inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale 2, 3, 4, 60, inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale 2, 3, 4, 70, inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale 2, 3, 4, 80, inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale 2, 3, 4, 90, inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale 2, 3, 4, 100, inhale, and then exhale, work your way back down. Good, okay, good job. All right, so just rest a second. So if you are a beginner, that's a great way to do it. You have your legs down on the floor, feet down on the floor, concentrate on coming up. Come up as high as you can, no tension in the neck, that should be your goal. Okay, so intermediates. Back to beginners. Feel free to back that up if you didn't do it along with me. Go ahead, back the video up and go ahead and do it again. Otherwise, we're going to move on to intermediates. All right, intermediates, what we're going to do is you have a Pilates magic ring, whoops, all tangled up here. You could use anything like that and put that between your legs. Again, intermediates, we're going to go ahead and do the Pilates 100. You want to concentrate on your inner thighs and pulsing having that squeeze. Think about the pelvic floor, lift and squeeze the pelvic floor, and then pulse those arms up and down 6 to 10 inches. Okay, so I'm going to use a ball, and then you can put anything there. You don't need anything at all. You can just have those legs really tight together. So whatever works best for you. Try it different ways. So we're going to do the intermediate version. So same starting position. So right now I already have tension in my inner thighs and I already have a connection with my pelvic floor. All right, so from here, we're going to inhale to prepare, chin towards the chest. So check that, everybody. Make sure you have a fist distance between your chin and your chest. You don't want that chin digging in. Okay. So as you exhale, head, neck, and shoulders come up. Squeeze that core. And here we go. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 20. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 30. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 40. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 50. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 60. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 70. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 80. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 90. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 100. Come up a little bit. Work your way back down slowly and rest. So, very easy to lose your focus or focus on something else. So, try to pick 1 or 2 things you're going to focus on for that round. And then, like your breathing pattern, like squeezing your inner thighs together, trying to make it harder. Around count 70, I brought my legs up into tabletop just to show another variation. Still in that imprinted pelvis. Beginners, remember that? We talked about the imprinted pelvis. So let's make sure we do that. We're going to move on to our advanced. Again, let's hold on a second. Intermediates, feel free to back it up. Rewatch the video. Go ahead and do the intermediate version again. All right. Now we're moving on to advanced. So advanced, let's go ahead, try our regular breathing pattern, concentrate on coming up. We're going to slow it down. I know you love that. We're going to extend our legs out to a 45-degree angle. If you've done the beginner version, the intermediate version, and now we're moving on to advanced and you're getting tired, feel free to bring those legs up at 90 or bring them down to a lower level, lower progression, or regression, I guess. And then, but let's go ahead and give this a try. Again, it's going to be counting slower. If you want to try the long inhalation, long exhalation, feel free to try that as well. All right, it's kind of hard to count and do that at the same time for me, but go ahead and give that a try. So I'm going to go ahead and use my Pilates ring. I'm going to put my Pilates ring between my ankles. I'm going to extend the legs out so they're further away from my body, so it should make it harder. Okay. All right, so I have my ring. I start in tabletop. All right, I'm checking my pelvis. So I'm going into an imprinted pelvis. Hands are outside the hips. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, head, neck, and shoulders come up. Lengthen those arms. Go ahead, lengthen the legs. Slower count. Still in the imprinted pelvis. Here we go. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 20. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 30. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 40. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 50. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 60. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 70. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 80. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 90. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 100. Come on up. Bend your knees, lower the upper body, bring it down, and rest. So everyone, flip over, please. Lie on your stomach. Hands underneath your shoulders. We're going to go ahead and stretch the opposing muscles. So come on up. And bring it down. Deep breath, inhale, stretch. So we should be feeling it in our back. And we're stretching the front of the body, the muscles we just worked. And bring it down. One more time, lift. And down. Go ahead, flip over. Bring those knees into your chest. Now we're stretching the opposing muscles. Roll around a little bit. Roll yourself up. And you're done with Pilates 100. I hope you find this useful. You can always fast forward through the lesson commentary and then go right to the exercise. But thank you for participating.